Hi guys, so winter has definitely arrived. I don't know, this might only be a really short video or it might be a longer one, I'm not sure yet. You probably know before I do. I just wanted to, first of all, let you all know that I'm still here. Sorry there's not been any videos for a couple of weeks. It's just been crazy time for me work-wise. I think I explained all this before and you kind of know it, but I'm working stupid hours. I'm working from 8 in the morning till around 10 o'clock at night, and it doesn't leave time for anything else. Even at weekends, it's a compressed day due to the daylight. It gets light at around, well, about 7:30. It's dark by 4:30, there or thereabouts, but it's getting better. We're getting about 1.5 minutes extra daylight every day at the moment, so we've turned a corner for sure. But winter has arrived. It is cold. And we've had 2 or 3 days where we've had proper freezing temperatures, and I'll be honest, I quite like it. I felt like we hadn't had a winter yet. The winter hadn't come, so I quite like the different seasons. So I'm just doing the chores this morning. It's Sunday today. With the hours I've been working, I didn't do anything yesterday. I had a 3-hour bath. That's definitely in my wheelhouse. I watched some Netflix and just recovered from the last 2 weeks of work, which have been, like I say, quite intense. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, so for the next week at least, I'm back to working what most people would consider to be more regular hours. It's going to be 8 in the morning till about 4 in the afternoon, and I can't wait. I really needed it. I'm not 28 anymore. When I was in my late 20s and early 30s, I used to work these hours 7 days a week for prolonged periods, but I just can't do it anymore. Speaking of which, hey, one of the ways that manifests itself is just in making mistakes at work. Now, if you follow the podcast, you'll probably already know, but I had a fairly significant incident at work about 10 days ago, 11 days ago, something like that. I drove my circular saw into my leg and I cut into my quad. It was quite a significant cut, quite deep. I had to have stitches, but I was very lucky. Didn't hit my femoral artery, didn't hit a tendon or a ligament. It was just very lucky, but and I'm almost fully recovered now. I've just had my stitches out, but it was it was one of those times when I'm really lucky insofar as I'm quite calm in situations like that. So I had to cut my trouser leg off there. Here is where I cut myself. I cut my trouser leg off there with my multi-tool, which I had in my pocket. And then I had to use the trouser leg to wrap the wound, and then some duct tape. And get myself to the hospital. And it was just a mistake. And like most mistakes, we all make mistakes at work. And we make them at the same time, I think, most of them. It was towards the end of the day. It was kind of literally the last thing I was doing was I was cutting a piece of timber and then laying it on the floor. That was it. And then I was going home. It was very late, and it was caused by, a combination of things, all human error, a combination of things, and the sort of things that we all suffer with. It was rushing, it was being tired, it was not focusing on what I was doing because I had half an eye on getting home. And that was the result. The only difference is, for someone who works in the building industry versus someone who works in an office, is that in an office, you can usually call IT support to fix the mistake, or Control Z it to get it back, or whatever it might be. Whereas when you're working with power tools, those mistakes can be a little bit more costly. Anyway, there's no use in dwelling on it, but I will try and learn my lesson. And I try and be safe. I really do. I know you guys might not think so, but I don't know. I was very tired. And I think that's the takeaway, really. I'm slowing down a bit, trying to. But a bit of me still thinks I can go like I did when I was younger. That's the lesson I'm trying to learn, trying to teach myself. And it's a hard one. It really is. Don't really have a lot to update you on around the homestead because, like I say, my life has been work, sleep. And this is the first time, literally the first time in 2 weeks I've even been in the garden in the daylight, I think. it's been one of those. But like I say, light at the end of the tunnel. That should all come to an end this week. So I'm not making any promises. I've got a lot of catching up to do with lots of different aspects of my life, but hopefully this week will be a little bit different, and I'll have time to do some things that are worthy of sharing with you. I don't want to do a daily vlog where it's just, hi, I'm going to work, this is me at work, I'm coming home, and I'm going to bed, and I'll see you tomorrow. I don't think most people would find that particularly interesting. So I only really want to share with you guys when I've got something worthy of sharing, you know? And on this occasion, it's just a catch up after a couple of weeks without speaking to you. But if you do want to follow me a little bit more closely, like I mentioned before, the podcast is a great way of doing that, because I release a podcast every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I do keep people up to date with what's going on here among broader categories of topics. I already mentioned in my last video that we've got Sid up for sale. The girls are towards the end of their pregnancy now, so we'll go and say hello. Actually, I've not seen them for a little while. I want to just go and play with my goats. Hey guys. What are you doing? Hey Rhubarb. It's Sydney. So the girls are in their last couple of weeks now of pregnancy, I think. I need to check. What I need to do is go back through my YouTube channel and check the date that we moved Sydney across, because I don't remember. And I didn't write it down, but I didn't write it down because I knew that I could go back and check my videos. So I need to do that, find out what date we moved Sydney across, and then we'll get our due dates for the kids. But it won't be too far away now. Their udders are just starting to fill. They've got a long way to go, but that could happen in a couple of days, their udders filling. It's really difficult to say. They could start filling up slowly and take a week or two, or they can just go almost overnight. So we'll be keeping a close eye on them. And it's, you know, another reason why it's important that I'm not working these ridiculous hours over the next few weeks, so that I can be here to do whatever they might need. And as always, we'll just take that on a case-by-case basis. We've got lots of suitable housing now. It's really easy for us to separate each of the 3 goats into a completely different paddock, give them lots of space, all with their own housing, and you know, whatever they need. We'll just have to wait and see. One of the other things I want to do this week, I want to trim all their feet because they're due. And obviously when they're out in the wild, they tend to live in a more rocky environment where the wear and tear on the rocks and cliff faces and what have you would keep those toenails basically in check. But with this soft ground, that's not going to happen. Even if we had hard standing here, it still wouldn't happen, because they're not wearing them down like they would in a natural environment. So we need to do their feet. And Rhubarb's got a horn, not this one, but this one. It's growing right round and pressing into her cheek a little bit. So we need to have a look at that, but I'm not sure the best way of addressing it, because it's actually, it's all right, love, I'm just going to say hello. It's actually a little bit loose. It's not very secure at the base. So what we would normally do is we would use, like, I don't know if you're familiar with a coping saw, but a coping saw is, basically speaking, it's almost like a little tiny circular file, so that you can cut through wood and cut all sorts of different shapes. So it's a bit like a hacksaw, but with a circular saw blade. Well, effectively you'd use a similar bit of wire that's like a file, and you'd basically use that on their horns, and you'd sort of go back and forth with each hand. But I'm not sure if that's going to just cause some problems at the butt of the horn where it's attached. So I'm really not sure. It might just be a 2-man job and one person sort of holding the horn secure while the other one cut. I don't know. And worst case scenarios, we'll get the vet to come and deal with it. But yeah, that's definitely something that needs doing. I think that's about it. The chickens are all loving life. They've got plenty of space and yeah, plenty of housing. They're all really happy. Not laying many eggs, plenty for our family, plus a few spare. And that's about it, I think. So I'm going to go about the rest of my day, do a few chores. Got Granny and Grampy coming later again for dinner, where I'm cooking curry, 3 different types of curry. And then it'll be to bed and to work tomorrow. And hopefully, like I said, I'll have a bit more time for you guys over the next few days. Anyway, that's going to wrap this up. Thanks ever so much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. Sorry it's not been more frequent, and I'll be in touch as soon as I can. Please make sure that if you're not already, you subscribe to my channel, like this video. If you haven't already, press that like button. You can do it right now, and why not leave me a comment down below. It might take me a minute, but I do reply to everyone who comments. So thanks for watching, guys. Speak to you soon. Cheers.